1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey everybody, there, Reese Werrell here, and welcome back to more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Justice for All. Okay, it's time for the trial. Good morning, Max. Oh, yeah, good morning, sweeties. He still looks super nervous. You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today. I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm waking up to it. Who the hell was the oh! Regina! Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. Regina! How fabulous! My sweetie pie! My sweetie pie princess. You came to watch my performance today? Of course I did. Mo told me that I should come and watch this. Mo said that? So what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end. It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties? Huh? I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't... Yeah, she doesn't seem to realise what's going on. Or even where she is. Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today I'm just a member of the audience. Oh my god. Fabulous! Enjoy yourself out there. Good luck, Max. You're the best. Okay. Regina's different, don't you think, Nick? Top of the morning to you. Oh my god. Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How low can you go? Mo! Okay, I'm trying to, like... Oh my god, my connection with the Wii U console is unstable. It's really crappy today for some reason. Don't know why. Top of the morning to you, Governor. Top of the morning. That's the ticket. Attack in the day starts with energy in the morning. The early bird gets the worm, but then again, worms lack higher brain function. Oh my god. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk. Oh my, thank you. Is it spoiled? So how are you today, Wright? Well, I've got the feeling that today I'm going to face off against the real criminal. You mean Acro? Huh? You think he did it? Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line. Literally. He's got guts to spare. If all I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is, I'm used to it already. Just means that I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses. What are you going to do then, Nick? I guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get past Acro and to the truth. You're right, but it's gonna be tough. Anyways, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father. You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes. That's why I brought her here to court today. What's that supposed to mean? Oh yeah, Regina doesn't really understand how the outside world works. Oh, that makes a lot more sense now. I just assumed it was because she's dumb, but no, it's because she's literally only knows what the circus is. That's pretty much it. She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars. Wait, oh right, so we're in the courtroom. Courtroom number 2! Well, there the bitch is. The court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica. The prosecution is ready, Your Honour. The defence is also ready, Your Honour. Very well. Miss Von Karma, you may proceed with your case. The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events. What's the meaning of this? We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. How convenient. Order, order. I had a feeling something like this would come up. Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation of the prosecution will present if the need so arises. I don't know why that threw me off, but it did. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Poor Gumshoe. Ah, what a poor guy. Very well, please call your witness to the stand. Time to get to work. Or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. Hey, it's Acro. Name and occupation. Ken Dingling, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Very Big Circus. Where were you the night of the crime? I was in my room that night. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor, the crime scene is below my window. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. Testimony! What you witnessed? It was just after 10 PM, and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Ba-ba. Then a few moments later, I saw someone, flying, right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. This witness's testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown. If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution needs to add. Or need add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Whoa. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. What the hell? A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, did. Miles Edgeworth. Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Hooray! What you witnessed? Only thing I can think to press him on would be when he said who it was. So it's like, what can you tell us that would, you know, definitely say it was Max? There we go. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window. The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. Do you not draw your curtains? Sheesh. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any of the other symbols? Oh god, that face. I clearly saw the silk hat, as well as the cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. The more I press in, the less results I seem to get. But maybe there was something fishy with his latest bit of testimony. There's a contradiction. The silk hat was found at the crime scene, so how was it on the body that flew by the window? The body? How was it on the person that flew by the window? There is a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. Bum 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 bum. Oh, of course you would object. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. She's right. Let's see some evidence. Fine. God. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of a contradiction? I do indeed. The silk hat. Made to order fedora that is a symbol of Max's fabulousness. Found at the crime scene. Kaboom. You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. Oh my god. Communication with the Wii U is absolute shit. I'm not even that far from it. I'm maybe 10 feet away. Probably not even that far away. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside the window was a tough enough challenge for me. That's a shame, because you would have noticed the silk hat found on the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? No. Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has 2 silk hats? No, this is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica. Which means Acro didn't see a hat. That you've been fibbing on the stand. How could he? I mean, he's a witness in a Phoenix Wright game. Him lying is not exactly that crazy. Order, order! Like always, someone has to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth, and now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court? Acro is the real culprit. Your Honor, on this occasion the defense accuses Acro himself. Ooh, I like the music. On this occasion? Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to remember how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and minds. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book. Really? If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to almost be scary. Oh my god, the bird. He is staying rather calm and collected. Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation? I don't really need to say a thing, do I? What do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. That's true. I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things... See? Even a sliver of common sense. Silver? Sliver, I'm assuming is what that was meant to be. That would have made more sense, I guess. Even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous. Yeah, sliver makes more sense than silver. She's right, way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Phoenix is a... really? He's a poopy head. See that, Mr. Phoenix, right? If you're trying to drum up support for the from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well. I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice. What do you say about... Oh, hiccups. What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did he have an accomplice? Of course he did... No, he didn't. Now then, this must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. What? You're not going to sucker me into this one. What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright? There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. Order! Order! What are you getting at? Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm gonna have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, then let's do it. Mr. Phoenix Wright, if this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right? Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingling? Oh. Well, he'd still be in his room. I don't know how they're missing it. His room is directly above where he was murdered. God, I'm trying to... There we go. He was obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room. Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. There's only one answer to that. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. Oh! What? Are you nuts? What are you saying, Mr. What say you, Mr. Dingling? He says nothing. It's an interesting theory. Oh. That's it? Considering that what you proposed is impossible, yes, that's it. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene or be the killer. You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Mo said that he saw Max, didn't he? Oh god. Floating away. But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? I think that said a question. What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this illegal buffet. Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here... She's right, I can't mess up here. I've got to give this some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster. And he killed the ringmaster while he was in his room. No doubt about that. Or about it. Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright. Present evidence. I'm going to present some evidence. So, what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of murder against Russell Berry? I don't even know what the hell do I have. Oh wait, that's back at the... back to the beginning. So we got the Grand Prix photo. That won't... Yes! He murdered him with this photo. There it is. That's how we saw the hat. Go. What's that? A picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust. It's quite a large bust, and because it is life-sized, it's also very, very heavy. Heavy? Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Oof. Ah! Oh, serious face. See, this is how Acro was able to kill the ringmaster. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. They'll probably ask, how was it in his room? Or how would he have gotten a hold of it? Something like that. Order, order. So you're saying the bust fell onto the ringmaster? A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. Well, Acro is an acrobat. That's true. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bust. Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges? With a very serious face. Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, 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 Acro. You can't run away from things. I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself. Testimony, you say? On karma. She's just using this testimony as a ruse to stall for time. There's absolutely no need for such testimony. The defense has its version of the murder, the prosecution has the right to respond. Ah. The defense's objection is overruled. Why can't he see things my way for once in a while? Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony. The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. That woman will sink to any low to win a case. Yes, she will. She is a Von Karma, after all. Okay, so his physical state. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? I have no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony. It was impossible for him to lift the bus and carry it over to the window. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Actually, he could have. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright? I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. I can't let her get to me. I've got to focus. No, he could technically know where he was from the wooden box. Because if he put it in such a place and knew that the ringmaster would try and lift it, then that would put him in a pretty good spot. Where is it? They says I didn't know where the ringmaster was. No one could have exerted that kind of force. Wait, to have known the location of the ringmaster. There we go. Where is this wooden box? Aha, there we go. Kaboom! I got it! I love how you know if you've got it right because the music goes silent. It's probably the best part. Acro, you didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add. Oh, she's sweating. Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting. Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this. Wait, that's a crime scene photo. Oh, whatever. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over. The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here? Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the crime scene. At the scene crime. Is that what it just said? Did that really just say scene crime? God, there's so many errors. But like, not so many, it's just, it's weird that there are so many. It's like they've got double A's, so it's like I'd like to ask a question. There's just a lot of very simple mistakes that somehow slip through, I guess, but I don't mind, it doesn't take away from the game, it's just funny. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean, if the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim. Really? Order! This is unbelievable! Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going. There's only one way to go from here. Forward. Bum, 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 bum. So the next question I have is who placed that wooden box at the scene? It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow! Allow me to whip some sense into you. Mr. Phoenix, Wright. Oh my god. The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. The size of the box, the weight of the box. Yeah, it weighed a ton. Considering the contents was nothing but a thing of pepper. Was it pepper? I think it was pepper. The box has a remarkable weight. Weight? According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift up this wooden box would have required... Oh, I see. One would have to squat down then lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That is correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Fool. Haha. What's his response gonna be then? Does she even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you've had to say. Okay. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you drop it? Did you drop the bust onto the ringmaster? What are you talking about? Even if I had wanted to do such a thing, I couldn't. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of this bust? I forgot. I forget. I kinda forgot. Nick! Don't tell me you're losing your memory already. No. Let's not get carried away. Hey, stick out your head a little. I've got just the thing. Am I a kick? Enough of that. No horseplay in this courtroom. And no kicking the defense attorney. According to the court record, the bus disappeared from the cafeteria. I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I only chose I forget because I knew it had humorous dialogue. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. Ah, that means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bus from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bus from the cafeteria to my room? Money! Money the monkey! You see, Mr. Phoenix, right? Explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. I mean, can an animal be an accomplice? Tell us exactly how the witness could have carried the bus from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. This is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happened once and for all. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bus from the cafeteria back to his room? The monkey! A monkey? Everyone knows Money. He loves shiny objects of any size. For instance, he stole the ventriloquist's ring. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own and then brought it back home. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room? Don't know why you're so shocked. Like, what? But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. Look at that. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? Be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Okay. Order! I said order! Miss Von Karma, where is the bust in question at this moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is a strange turn of events. If that monkey did not steal the bust, then what happens to this case? Well, in that event, something else must have been used as a murder weapon. Well, Or maybe this bust was the murder weapon, but it was used by accident. That's possible. Maybe Raku saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. He looks pretty pissed, regardless. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron. Jesus. So, no, Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I am still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water, there's no denying that. Don't see so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix, right? And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. Ah! There is no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Nick, don't let her beat you now. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial round. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The clown saw the murderer. Who was it then? I present you the murderer. He saw Max's I asked, who was the other person Mo saw on the scene? The evidence has nothing to do with the question. Au contraire, mon frere. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Of course it does. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. I love this song. How is that possible? It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw just happened to be wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. Or a cloak like that could easily get snagged on the bust if they came into contact. Idiot, who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? It doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance to this case, don't you agree? Doh, he caught me. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? Russell. Fool, him? You're saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying. The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust? Placed the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself. Nick, do you really have a handle on all of this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright. So you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Haha! Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust, and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trilo. Bum bum bum. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. Ugh. Was he actually wearing the hat at that time or not? And that's when Acro took his chance to release the rope. Actually, when he went to lift up the box, the hat could have fallen off. And crack. Now this is when the magic happens. Is it gonna, like, animate it? At the very instant that the bust hit the victim... Okay, so it was on the floor. There it is. Ba-ba. You wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true. It can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. Eh? I love how janky that looks. With the shock of the impact, it threw up the cloak and it got snagged onto the bust. That's when the sound was heard by a witness and he took a look out of his window. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Mo Curls, the clown. When Mo looked out of his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because in his wheelchair he couldn't see out of his window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. Look, magically it flies! And that is how the magical murderer disappearing into the sky came to be. Oh my god. Now you know how the murder actually took place. And now you know who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the scene. Acro, it could only have been you. And of course he has nothing to say. We're gonna get attacked by the bird. Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now. So? What now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my wit. Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Nick, they say they want evidence. I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. There is still something unusual about Mo's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay, then use that and get out of this jam. Okay! That's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright, and is it Mr. Phoenix, right? Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unravelled the trick to this magic case. Oh god, what can I use? Boy. I mean, that shows him with the three symbols. Could I use the hat again? Because they saw a hat on something, but the hat was on the ground. That's my only idea. The problem is Max's three symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses? Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday there were two contradictions in Mo's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions. You fool, do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bust. Bum-ba-da-da-dum. Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of. Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction? The other contradiction? Remember what that ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one anyway. Away. Can you do it, Nick? Of course I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the incident when the cloak snagged onto the bust. Oh. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? They got hidden. Because of the way it fell. Ah. Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Which explains why Mo didn't see it. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Ta-da! So yeah, technically they were hidden. Order, order! Hey! Whew! This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe Von Karma will finally throw in the towel. Or not. Ah, crap. They're back to where they were. Super happy and not angry anymore. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. What is that? Oh god. Motive. This witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Oh no! The one flaw in my otherwise flawless plan. Not really a plan. My flawless argument. There we go. Thus there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster, and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster. Acro's motive. It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well, however, I feel this is a good place to take a break. We'll listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after the recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess. Woohoo! To be continued! Oh my god. I don't know why this case is so hated. Like, it's probably the least, like, everybody's least favourite case in the entire Phoenix Wright series. I don't really know why, to be honest. Unless it's the fact they just don't like how long it goes on, or Moe's jokes maybe. I have no idea. I've quite enjoyed it. The only thing I've not really liked about the case is the long-windedness of talking with Moe. That's basically the only thing I've not enjoyed. And that's purely because most of the dialogue with Moe is really cheesy puns that I just do not want to hear. I can't believe it. Acro. It's pretty shocking, isn't it? It definitely is, and to think he was always the most straightforward of the group. Jeebus, unbelievable. Acro tried to pin the murder on you, on purpose. He did? My. He's just a little twerp, isn't he? Well, that's one way to put it. Hey pal. Oh! You're gonna ignore me after I went to all this trouble to bring you some evidence? Ah, Detective Gumshoe. Ah, forget it. I'm going home. This guy deserves to be guilty anyways. Not now, Detective. I'm sorry. Now why don't you relax a little? We got some really tasty milk. How about a card trick, Detective? Well, if you... Oops. I was wondering what happened then. Oops. This is why I don't have my desk so close to me, because I end up pressing buttons on this massive bloody controller. Well, if you insist. Now, about that evidence you mentioned. What is it? Here you go. Huh? This was yesterday in Acro's room. The result of our investigation. You can look at it later. Is it blood? Won't Von Karma be mad that you're doing this? That's why this is all a secret. Huh? Look, details are on a need-to-know basis, and we're not really allies or anything. But everything that's happened in court up until now has gone according to our plan. Von Karma looked like she was in a pretty big hurry, though. You'll figure it out eventually, pal. Yesterday our final plans were put into place. Final plans? Uh-huh. That reminds me, I've got a message from the prosecutor for you. Judgment comes at the very last instant. That's it. And that's it for me too, pal. I'm going home. Judgment comes at the very last instant. Huh. What did he mean by that? The very last instant part? Everything he said seemed pretty cryptic to me. Oh, one more thing. Ah, don't scare me like that. It looks like there's a large care package from the circus for the defendant. For me? It's milk. The reception area looks like it's some kind of dairy. So hurry up and drink it before it spoils. An entire dairy's worth of milk? For me? Why? No one needs that much milk. If you drank that much milk, it would probably make you throw up. A lot. I really don't know why that happens, either. Like, when you drink a lot of milk in a short amount of time, you just throw it all back up, and I really don't get it. It's a very weird thing, I find. This court is now in session. Shall we continue our proceedings? Miss Von Karma, please continue from where you left off. I'd like to continue with Acro's testimony, starting with his relationship to the victim. I'd also like to get proof from the defense. Proof of what kind of motive Acro would have to commit this crime. Understood. Now, Mr. Dingling. Yes, Your Honor. Please proceed with your testimony. Finally, we get the motive. To the motive. Wait, Nick, are you okay? Just do me a favor and don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. About the ringmaster. When we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. That's when the ringmaster of the very big circus, Russell Berry, took us in. I became an acrobat at around 9 years old. I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was my sole purpose in life. Aw. I need a drink. My throat is starting to hurt. You're such a thoughtful young man. As you heard, the witness deeply respected the victim. I wonder how anyone could think that Acro could kill the man he held in such high esteem. You are absolutely right. How could anyone think that, Mr. Wright? Which is why there's no real need for a cross-examination, is there? Actually, that's the question I'm trying to answer myself. Why would Acro kill the ringmaster? This might be my last chance to answer that question. No. Nah, there's no need. I mean, we can't press him on anything. It's all stuff we don't really know the truth behind, and I'm assuming he would be telling the truth. There's no need to cross-examine the witness. What's that? Why was the ringmaster murdered? There's no need to dive into that bit of testimony when I know the answer already. Ooh, triple dots. Mr. Wright, I'd like to ask you a question. Go ahead, Your Honor. What was Acro's motive for killing the ringmaster? How about it? Can you explain that to me? Of course I can. Now I've come this far, there's no way I could answer, no I can't. Well, this is going to be good. Very well, then please enlighten the court. Let's see some evidence that proves Acro's motive for killing the ringmaster. Unless this is not... Ah, that's not really the motive for killing the ringmaster, though. Crap. Let me just go over this one more time. This is why Acro killed the ringmaster. That is correct. I don't think the defense would mind confirming something for me. What exactly are we supposed to learn from this piece of evidence? So yeah, that was not it. Crap. What are you supposed to learn? Looks like you just won the award for biggest failure in court. Biggest failure in court? That stings. In recognition of your honour, let me bestow you with my special prize. Hurry up and prove something. No, I'm really gonna have to think about this. Okay, so give up presenting things, because it's not that. I can't prove he had a motive for killing the ringmaster. Yeah, I didn't even have to think about it. It was obvious from the start. Your Honour, the reason that Acro killed the ringmaster is something that can't be proven. What? That's because Acro had no reason to kill the ringmaster at all. I was far too hasty. I was like, of course I can prove it. I didn't really read into it though. It's like, of course I can prove why he killed the ringmaster. Oh. Your foolish attempts to fool us like foolish fools is so foolhardily foolish. Did you forget? You made an accusation against this witness, did you not? I believe it was. This is the real killer of Russellberry Ringmaster. If you want to jump to the end of things, then yes, that sounds about right. The end of things? Acro. You didn't plan to kill the Ringmaster at all, did you? The Ringmaster wasn't your target that night. What did you just say? I'm saying that the target of this witness's murder plot was not the Ringmaster. He did not plan to kill Russellberry. What? Order. Bailiff, I don't care who it is, smack anyone who's loud in the face. Twice if you must. Mr. Wright, what in the world are you trying to do to my cart? Mr. Phoenix Wright, what in the world are you trying to do to this cart? To his cart. Are you attempting to imply that Acro was trying to kill someone else? Yes. I mean, I'm not answering yes, it's just, okay, yeah, her. Regina Berry? This young girl is the Ringmaster's daughter, correct? Acro, you were really aiming for her that night, weren't you? Well, that look kind of says yes. Don't you dare object. You don't need to answer that, it's a mean-spirited leading question. He could easily answer this question. If I'm wrong, all he has to say is, you're wrong, that's it. That's it, huh, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I love how defeated Von Karma looks in certain situations. Enough, Mr. Wright, allow me to... The only thing allowed to interrupt me is death itself. And that goes for you too, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Show me evidence, now! I want to know why Acro would want to kill Regina Berry. Yes. Me too. I demand to see some proof. Present evidence that proves Acro was out to kill this young girl. Where's the note? There it is, the note. What's it actually say on it? To the murderer, you haven't forgotten what happened 6 months ago, have you? I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Meet me at 10 PM tonight at the Lodging House Plaza. There we go. Acro, do you have any recollection of seeing this? It's a piece of paper that we found inside the ringmaster's tailcoat. Inside the victim's tailcoat? Acro wrote this note. It's ironically entitled To the Murderer. Its purpose was to call someone to the plaza at 10 PM. So you're saying that he called Russell Berry with that note? There's just one little problem. Problem? Acro did indeed place this note into someone's pocket. However, that someone was not the ringmaster. You mean, it wasn't for the... That's exactly what I mean. The person this note was intended for was none other than Regina Berry. Oh! Order, order, order! Mr. Wright, this little theory of yours. It's the truth, Your Honor. It isn't a theory. Simply put, Regina didn't think the note was meant for her. Which is why the morning of the crime, she placed it on the cafeteria bulletin board. That's when her father, I mean the ringmaster, read the note? That's correct. The ringmaster ended up in that plaza instead of Regina. And he was killed because of that mistake. Instead of Regina. That's incredible. Remember the testimony that Acro gave us earlier today? Lifting the bus and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. If I were to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself. Acro had no idea who it was that arrived in the plaza, because he couldn't look down out of his window to see who it actually was. I've got it! Acro thought it was Regina down in the plaza. And that's when he let the bus fly. Ugh. Hey Nick, isn't Regina listening to all of this from the audience? She is. Unfortunately, it's only going to get harsher from here. But Regina can handle it. Me too. Acro wrote this note to Regina. Oh my god. Foolishly foolish fool with foolishly foolish fool ideas, a foolish testimony, you're so foolish, you've even made me sound like a foolhardy fool. Jesus. I think fool might be Von Karma's favourite word. Very well, Mr. Phoenix Wright, if you're so sure, then tell us about this line. I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Okay. Uh-huh. That's a line in the note, alright. Well then, if the note was sent to Regina Berry, it must mean that this note is declaring that Regina Berry is a murderer. You just don't get it, do you? What? What did you just say? The ringmaster knew what that note meant, which is why he went to the plaza, in place of his lovely daughter. Aha! Bum bum ba bum. But hold it right there, Mr. Wright. What is this incident that is alluded to in the note? The incident 6 months ago. I have no idea. I know all about it. An incident occurred 6 months ago. And now I am more than ready to show this court what happened at that time. Moron. Wait, are you sure that it relates to the present case? It does indeed, Your Honor. Everything in this case has its start in what happened 6 months ago. Really, Nick? I think so. Well, then if that's the case, hurry up and tell us all about it. What is this conclusive evidence mentioned in the note? I know I'd certainly like to know what it is. If I can't answer that question, the judge is going to think I'm bluffing. The conclusive evidence about the incident 6 months ago is actually the small seasoning bottle. That's what it is, but it is pepper. There we go. What kind of spicy joke is this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? It isn't a joke at all. It's the decisive evidence you asked for. What do you mean? The victim would arrive and try to take away the wooden box. That's when they discover the decisive evidence found inside. Another unbelievable conclusion. Very well, Mr. Wright, so what exactly are you saying? Are you claiming Regina Berry killed someone with a bottle of pepper? Taking the note into account, that's the only logical conclusion you can draw. foolish fool who never tires of his own foolish ways. If you're so sure, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then answer this question. Oh my god, that's a lot of life. Who is Regina Berry's intended victim? Oh, right, yeah. That threw me off, I guess. Who is this? That is Acro's younger brother. What does this prove? His younger brother isn't dead. Technically, that's true. However, Bat has been in a coma for 6 months now. It's not a stretch to see how Acro could feel that his brother is dead. Regina, she did that to him? Do you spend your entire life dreaming up new ways to be a fool? Naturally, the prosecution has looked into Acro's brother, Sean Dingling. 6 months ago, he was bit by a lion and fell into a comatose state. A lion? Miss Regina Berry is an animal tamer by trade. However, no tamed animal in that position is ever trained to attack another human. They wouldn't understand the command. Moreover, Miss Regina could never do something like that. It's just not in her. I mean, it's not like it was intended. So then what happened to Acro's brother? He's not the victim of an attempted murder, he's the victim of an accident. I see. Now what do we do? No one seems to be going along with your theory. Do you think what happened to Bat was actually an accident? It was actually an accident. Oh, was it? I mean, it was an accident. I don't know. It was an accident. I think it might be the fact it was an accident, but Regina did not really think about what she was doing. I guess. The lion biting Bat was no accident at all. What? You're such an amateur, Mr. Phoenix Wright. There is no way that Regina could ever incite her lion to attack another human being. She may not have incited the lion to attack another human being, but Regina was responsible for making the lion bite Acro's brother Bat. There we go. It's just the way they worded it made me, like, really confused. Ah, that's what that was. The scarf. Oh. Stained with his blood and a small quantity of pepper. That's just a scarf. Acro. The scarf is something that Bat used to wear, correct? That's right. And who was the one that gave the scarf to Bat? Regina. Regina gave it to him. Regina? There is something more than just blood on this scarf, Your Honor. And what might that be? Pepper. Pepper? Pepper. Regina gave the scarf to Bat right before the accident, and she covered it with as much pepper as she could. Oh! Hey, what's with the silent treatment? Excuse me, Mr. Wright. You've done a good job of fingering the criminal. A criminal. But out of curiosity, what was her crime? Regina gave a pepper-covered scarf to Bat as a present. What's the crime in that? Or where's the crime in that? It still seems like the judge just doesn't get it. Mr. Phoenix Wright, wasn't it said that the lion seemed to be smiling? Smiling? The lion was smiling? Right before Bat was bit by the lion. For a moment, the lion's mouth changed and it looked like he was smiling. Lions smile? I've never heard of them smiling. However, lions sneeze. What? Leon didn't plan on biting Bat at all. He got whiff of the pepper and sneezed. In reality, all he actually did was sneeze. Ugh. Jeez. He sneezed because of all the pepper spread on the scarf. What? You fool! Hmm. So, you've got to be kidding me. What's the matter, Miss Von Karma? I object, for objection's sake. Mr. Phoenix Wright, this theory, you believe it? You really plan to say this joke of an accident actually happened? Of course I do, it's the truth. The lion sneezed due to the pepper, and that's when Bat lost consciousness. Acro nearly lost his brother due to this accident, or this joke as you put it. Which is why he tried to get his revenge against Regina. You foolish idiot. So So it's a joke of an accident to you, huh? Once again, I'm impressed by your imagination, Mr. Wright. To think that there's someone who treats this accident with the respect it deserves. Are you telling me that's what what I said was true? Acro? You can't mean, witness? Are you confirming the defense's claim? Mr. Wright, unfortunately, your imagination is not enough to find me guilty of murder. What do you mean by that? The pepper, the scarf, the lion. I see where you're going, but it's a bit hard to swallow. Not to mention the fact that there's an even bigger problem with your theory. What would that problem be? The same problem it's always been, evidence. If I drop Max's bust on top of the ringmaster... Where is the evidence that proves that claim? You mean the conclusive evidence? The biggest problem is the murder weapon, or the lack thereof to be more precise. Murder weapon? Yeah, the bust. The bust that the defense claims was used. If that were to be found in Acro's room, and if it was covered with the victim's blood, that would be awfully conclusive in my eyes. Yes, it would be. The bust. Nick, you've got to do something. This is the last step. If I get this one right, the case is won. We don't need to search his room. I'm pretty sure they already searched it. As in the prosecution and the police. See how it works out first. It might be worthwhile to search Acro's room, but why aren't you going to search his room? It looks like you finally figured things out, didn't you? Now you know the true meaning of Von Karma Total Justice. I guess. I figured with you that's the least I should expect. You leave no stone unturned. Great, you got whipped again. The Von Karma Levaneses. Oh my god. Never leaves anything to chance. We already searched Acro's room yesterday. What did you find? There's no reason to even say it. If we found what you think we found in that room, Acro would not be here as a witness. But to put a point on it, Max's bust was not in the room. The murder weapon is still unaccounted for. You see, Mr. Wright? The bust wasn't in my room. Furthermore, Detective Dick Gumshoe executed the search by complete surprise. And we took Acro directly to the prosecutor's office after all. End of story. Just wait a second. Something's funny about all this. Looks like the coup de grace in this case was ever so sweet. But what about the scarf? What about the note? What about them? Mr. Wright, no offense, but the important evidence here is about the death of the ringmaster. I think you should remember that. Do something, Nick. Don't let this case slip away. The bus, where is it now? Where's the bus right now? You're Phoenix Wright. You know where the bus is. I'm sure you do. There's not even a single clue. How am I supposed to know where the bust is? Oh. Oh, there we go. It seems as if this case is... oh my god. This case is coming to a close. I just can't read. The defense's counter-argument looks to have fallen short. Screw you, Von Karma. Thank you for your support. Ack! Now if you'll please excuse me, Mr. Wright. I think that brings to an end the cross-examination of this witness. No! Hold it. Who actually said that? Maya. Where is Max's bust? The defense needs time to prepare to present its case. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous and I just bit my tongue. What? We need time to do what? Oh, the music. Why are you the most surprised person here? She's your aide, isn't she? Do you really have a case to present, Mr. Wright? What? Is he talking to me? The rest is up to you, Nick. Good luck. Hey, wait. You can't be serious. Acrobats always have their lives on the line, don't they? That's how Acro's lived his life up until now. Now it's time for us to walk across our own tightrope. If we don't, we're certain to lose. Very well, the defense may proceed. He doesn't have a clue, and I don't think he'll be finding one anytime soon. Walk in the tightrope of logic. There's no room for a false step. Sink or swim, the only way through is forward. The murder weapon. Where is Max's bust now? Somewhere in the courtroom! It's obvious, the bust is inside this very courtroom. It's... obvious? Allow me to pinpoint the location of the bust once and for all. The judge's bench. Oh my god, that would be great. The witness's chair. Acro? I'm sorry to ask this, but do you mind if I take the blanket off your wheelchair? Ooh. I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you, Mr. Wright. Well, you're a big guy, and you have a pretty big wheelchair because of it. I just want to make sure you weren't hiding anything under that blanket. Because it seems to me that it'd be really easy to say, hide a bust under there. Would you not be able to see it from behind? Oh no, you wouldn't. Because the back of the chair goes all the way down to where the wheels are. Once again, your penchant for humour hits me where it hurts, Mr. Wright. I think it's pretty amazing that you could laugh in your position. However, your lightheartedness doesn't change the fact that the bust is under there. We all know that you couldn't leave the lodging house by yourself in your condition. That proved inconvenient when Miss Von Karma happened to search your room yesterday. If she had found the murder weapon in your room, it would have been all over. Which is why you had to hide it. In the only place that you could hide it. Under your wheelchair. Which is why, Acro, I have to ask you again. Could you please remove the blanket from the wheelchair? Ah, the music. Well done, Mr. Wright. Masterfully played. Oh, dear. Hey! She's admitting defeat. You fool! How could you? She just doesn't like to be beaten. You've got me. I've been bagged by a real pro. Actually, two of them. Two of them? It's from this Franziska Von Karma and Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? There's just one thing I'd like to know. How did you know to launch the surprise search on my room last night? There were two pieces of decisive evidence, the cloak and the bust. I burned the cloak in my room and threw the ashes away with the trash. Regina always took my trash out every morning, you know. But the bust? Obviously I couldn't throw that away. When you executed your search, all I could do was try and hide the bust. And the only place that I could hide it quickly was under this wheelchair. Miss Von Karma, you had things all figured out, didn't you? I was completely sucked in by your calculated strategy. And now to be caught in the middle of court hiding the murder weapon. There's no way I can escape that. So, you've got me. Well done, Mr. Wright. Well done, Miss Von Karma. It all makes sense now. I can't believe that Von Karma thought that far ahead. It's amazing. Uh-huh. You definitely couldn't tell by looking at her. I know I sure couldn't. I can't believe it. I failed. Why did I order a surprise search of your room? If only I hadn't done that. Or he wouldn't have hidden the bust and we wouldn't have found it. It doesn't matter now, though. It seems as if we've arrived at the truth. Acro. Yes, Your Honor. Did you kill the ringmaster of the Berry Big Circus, Mr. Russellberry? Yes, Your Honor. I'm responsible for that crime. Acro. Aw, I feel bad for him. Because he literally lost everything. Although wanting to get revenge for something that was accidental kind of sucks. All my brother did was want Regina to like him. That's why he'd tease her. One day my brother sprinkled some pepper on Regina. She started sneezing so hard, you couldn't help yourself from laughing. That's why Regina thought it'd be funny to get him back in the same way. And that's why she covered the scarf in pepper. I know she didn't want anything bad to happen. I know this. She just wanted to make my brother sneeze a few times too. But I just couldn't forgive her, no matter what. What am I truly guilty of? I'm guilty of never ever being able to understand her. Your brother became a star. Regina believed in that so purely. But she would laugh innocently when saying it, too innocently. I couldn't just stand it. I just couldn't stand it. Fuck me, I can't read. No matter how hard I tried. That's when you decided to do something about Regina? What do you mean by that? So are you saying that you were a victim in all of this as well? No, that's not what I meant. Aww. I'm nothing but a murderer. That's who I am. At first I thought I'd kill myself, then I pondered giving myself up. But I couldn't just up and leave, I just couldn't. That's why I tried to pin this on Max. Max, I'm so sorry. Jesus. I just couldn't up and leave yet. This has been such a strange case. It's almost a reflection of the circus itself. I'm an idiot. I can't believe it. You beat me. Again. I believe this case is now beyond any point of possible discussion. Thus, I'd like to declare my verdict. Hey! Not guilty! Woohoo! That was a really sad ending, though. This court is adjourned. And to be fair, in the show, I think Turnabout Big Top is one of the saddest cases in the entire show, too. Just the way it ends. Fabulous! But to be honest, I can't really be too happy about this. Acro, the Ringmaster, Regina, and Bat. Not a single one of them was a bad person inside, huh? That's a good question, and one I don't know the answer to. Congratulations. Congratulations, Mr. Max. Thank you. What's with the vibe in this room? We're just thinking about Acro. No. If you worry about people too much, then you'll be like this forever, and never be happy. Huh? Oh. She's been like this for a while now. It's all my fault. Sweetie pie. Bat and Acro, they're never coming back. Now everyone's gonna split up. Regina. Mr. Wright, tell me something. What do you want to know, Regina? Acro said something right at the end. I just couldn't up and leave yet. Does that mean that Acro... is he gonna try and get his revenge on me? I don't think so. He's not gonna do that to you, Regina. Are you sure? You're really sure? I can believe that? Yep, Acro doesn't have any desire for revenge anymore. If that's true, then I want to see some evidence. Huh? Acro said that all the time to you. So I thought it'd work for me too. Oh. Oh. I need to show the profile. Take that! Take that! Acro didn't want to get caught for a reason. He wanted to see his brother open his eyes again. Bat. That's right, Regina. He's still alive, you know. He is, huh? But now that Acro's been caught... Uh-huh. I know. What? I'll do it. I'll stay next to Bat as long as it takes. Until he opens his eyes. And then until he can meet Acro again. It's so sweet of you, Regina. I'm sorry, Acro. I'm sorry, Bat. Well, hopefully this is enough to give her a little peace of mind. Hey, Max. What is it, Mo? We really put you through a lot, didn't we, buddy? I'm sorry about what happened. So whenever you'd like to leave us, I'll pay your fee and rip up the contract. I understand. Such a fabulous thing to do for me. I might even leave tomorrow. What's going to happen to the circus now? Ah, that's the big question. Our ringmaster was really an amazing person, wasn't he? Even though he's not here anymore, everyone is still sticking together. The staff, the performers, no one wants to leave the circus. That's why I've made a decision. What is it? I've decided that I will take over as the new ringmaster. I'll turn the circus into the best circus this world has ever seen. The best circus the world has ever seen. Don't laugh. Amazing. Yay, I can't wait. Then I guess that changes things. Huh? There's only one thing the best circus the world has ever seen needs. The world's best illusions. Which means this circus needs the best magician the world has ever seen. Max. Let's work together and make our circus super fabulous. What do you say, big guy? I don't know what to say. All I can say is thank you. Regina? You're gonna help him out too, aren't you? I don't know. Maybe the circus would be better off without me. What are you talking about, Regina? Why do you think that I brought you to court today? We've got to work together to make the very big circus bigger than it's ever been. Mo. Mo's right, sweetie pie. It can't be the Berry Big Circus without Regina Berry. Max. Nick. Everyone's just saying names. Seems like everything is going to turn out alright here. Can't wait to go and see the best circus the world has ever seen. We'll save you the most fabulous seats. It'll take us a while to get ready, but I'm going to order special whoopee cushion seats. Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't mind this case. It's probably one of the saddest ones. Oh no, just... Acro's admission and seeing him cry, it just kind of hit me where it hurts. I see, just like you thought yesterday's search really paid off, sir. You had it all figured out yesterday, didn't you? It was just a theory. A game theory. If Acro really was the killer, I thought this was the only way it could end. Especially if he was the defense attorney. You mean Mr. Wright? Wait, who's Gumshoe talking to? Of course. Well, Detective, my plane is about to leave. Do me a favour and try not to be too harsh on Acro. Once I get back, I'll make a stop by the Chief Prosecutor's office. It's Edgeworth! Yes, sir. I'll be waiting for you. Goodbye, Mr. Edgeworth. Aha! So he gave Gumshoe the order to search the room. Turn about Big Top. The end. Awesome! Hey! A brand new episode, the final one. Farewell, my turnabout. Awesome. And as usual, I think I'm going to end the session here. Because we've ended episode 3, so I might as well start a new session when I start episode 4. Alright, so that is going to be the end of this session. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. And until next time, take care.